GTA games have probably the most captivating characters, from protagonists to antagonists to even the side characters. They're all full of so much personality and depth. It's hard to not think that they'd be great protagonists for a story DLC or a spin-off game of their own. Which brings us to today's video on characters that deserve their own game. In this video, I'll bring up a character and pitch what kind of story I want to see them in. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is for sure a controversial pick, considering she was the main antagonist of GTA 3 after portraying Claude, and I guess you can say she was kinda sorta an antagonist in San Andreas. Overall, she's written to be really unlikable, so making her a protagonist in a potential GTA game would be like making Micah the protagonist of Red Dead 3. So it is kinda tricky to make a game where she's a protagonist and you're able to sympathize with her, even though you already know that she's a bad person. But the way I see it, if Rockstar made it work with Dutch, where in Red Dead 1, where he was a ruthless killer, to in Red Dead 2, where he's more endearing and kind, and seen more as a father figure that you can empathize with, then I think they could make this work. Plus, this game will be set 10 years before the events of GTA 3, where she portrays Claude. But I would call this game Grand Theft Auto Cross Country. For this game's story, it's set between the events of San Andreas and GTA 3. That being 1992 and 2001. As for the map for this potential game, I wanted to take place in the southwest and midwest of the United States, so all the land between San Andreas and Liberty State. I'd feature cities like a GTA version of Phoenix, Albuquerque, St. Louis, Houston, Dallas, and even Carcer City from Manhunt, since Manhunt takes place in the 3D universe of GTA. Plus, my headcanon is that Claude is from Carcer City anyways. I also think it would be cool to see more of Claude and Catalina's dynamic. I know Claude is basically a stone cold killer, and Catalina is deranged and unpredictable, but I'd love to explore more of their characters. And no, before you ask, I wouldn't make Claude talk in this potential game. And the plot synopsis would be that Catalina and Claude going across country, causing chaos and going on robbing sprees. Now this sounds super similar to GTA 6, since GTA 6 is also going to be a couple going on a crime spree together. But this isn't even my idea really, considering it's actually implied by Rockstar that that's what Catalina and Claude were up to before the events of GTA 3. So this game would basically fill in the blank between San Andreas and GTA 3. Now Ceasar is 100% my favorite character from San Andreas. He never had his head up his ass like most characters, and he was incredibly loyal to CJ, and clearly loved Kendall as well. I feel like more of his character could have been explored, like for example his gang, the Aztecas. We really don't know much about their history, or why they had beef with other gangs in the first place. So I will call this game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Stories. I know, super original, but I would set this in the year 1988, 4 years before the events of San Andreas. This would clearly serve as a prequel to San Andreas, much like how Liberty City Stories served as a prequel to GTA 3, as Vice City Stories served as a prequel to Vice City. The general plot for this game will be how Ceasar joined the Aztecas. I assume Ceasar is about the same age as CJ, that being that he's 24. So in this game, since it's set 4 years before the events of San Andreas, he would be just 20 years old. This would of course be set during the 5 years CJ is in Liberty City, away from Los Santos, so CJ wouldn't really be involved in the story. I also wouldn't have Grove Street families play a huge role in this game either. Yeah, you can go to Grove Street and see the Grove Street NPCs spawn there, but that's about it. While other GTA games focus on organized crime like the Mafia and African American street gangs, I would have this game's story of course focus on Latino gangs. Although we have had Latino protagonists like Luis and Vic, we never really explored Latino gang culture. So obviously a gang set in 1980s California would be a perfect setting for this story. In the story we would focus on the rivalry between the Aztecas and the Vagos, and I'd have the gang war feature return from San Andreas, where you can steal territory from the Vagos and Balas. Teal representing the Aztecas of course. As for the map, I would include Los Santos and Red County. Considering to our knowledge Ceasar never visited Las Venturas or San Fierro until the events of San Andreas. However, I would include a GTA version of San Diego, where Ceasar is able to travel to this location and would also have gang territory there as well. Now, some talented and passionate fans did create a mod similar to my pitch to this story, besides for Ceasar being a playable character and the inclusion of San Diego. The mod creators are called SA Squad. And I swear I'm not stealing their idea, I swear to God I'm not. I actually was going to make this video by itself, a story pitch like this, about San Andreas stories, but then I looked up San Andreas stories and I saw that they kind of had a similar pitch, but they play as a different character, and it's kind of similar to this, but not entirely. So I did end up scrapping that video. But I think for sure that these guys deserve credit for the mod 100%, and I'll link their channel in the description if you guys want to check them out. I think they're doing a really awesome job with the mod. Just like Ceasar, Little Jacob was also a great character. Again, extremely loyal to Nico, just like Ceasar was to CJ. Honestly, my pitch for this game would be Little Jacob adjusting to Liberty City after migrating to America from Jamaica. The title of this game will be called Grand Theft Auto Ganja and Gunfire. I wouldn't want it to be too similar to the start of Nico's story where he's fresh off the boat from Europe at the beginning of the game. Instead, I would have it take place a few months after Little Jacob came to Liberty City. I'd probably have the game be set in the year 2003. This was kind of like the height of real life paranoia and hysteria after the September 11th attacks, and it'd be great to see kind of that culture be more explored in this game. We did explore a little bit of it in GTA 4, but I would love to see a game where that culture is sort of more prevalent, where people are more cautious and they're more wary of like immigrants. The story being set 5 years before GTA 4's story, it will be about Little Jacob and his come up with the drug trade in Liberty City. I probably wouldn't change the map and just keep the game set in Liberty City. However, I would love to have a mission or two set in Jamaica, sort of like in GTA 5 where you go to North Yankton for a few missions. Another great character from GTA 4 will be Packie McCreary, or Patrick. Now, in GTA 4's story, Packie talked about how the McCrearys were a big crime family before the events of GTA 4, and that's something I'd want to explore and delve into, and I love to see the McCrearys at their peak. I'd probably set it in the late 90s or early 2000s. Considering he was born in 1979, that would have made him 29 in GTA 4's story. So we set it in example the year 1999, Packie would be about 20 years old. The title for this potential game would be called Grand Theft Auto Irish Blood American Soil. Now, Armando was a small-time drug dealer who was a side character in GTA 4's DLC, The Ballad of Gay Tony. He's a big contrast to Luis in this game, Luis being level-headed and having the idea that he's surrounded by idiots, while Armando, on the other hand, is irrational and is the idiot who surrounds Luis. I'd love to see him more fleshed out in his own game, where he becomes a drug kingpin of Liberty City. I set this game anywhere after the events of GTA 4, so between 2008 and modern day. Maybe in this game we could see where Luis went off to. But my title for this game will be called Grand Theft Auto Made in Holland. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Lamar was actually meant to be a playable character at the end of GTA 5's story, after Franklin dies in the final mission. But due to legal troubles of Lamar's voice actor, they had to scrap this idea. But this is actually an idea I've had for over a year now. I even made a thumbnail about this for a video discussing this pitch, but I never made that video because in my mind it was way too ambitious. I would have to use mods and I don't have a gaming PC, so it would have been a whole process. And in that video I would have went mission by mission on how the game would play out. But this game will be called Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Los Santos, Davis Takeover. I kind of like how the title has a double meaning, Davis being Lamar's last name, and it also being the name of the South Central District of Los Santos. But I'll go ahead and give my pitch on this game's story. So I would set this game after the events of GTA 5, like right after, so it would still be set in 2013, and basically Lamar and Franklin have a falling out because if you remember in the mission Lamar Down, Franklin told Lamar that if there's any opportunity for Lamar to make money, Franklin would let him know. And well, we do know that was a lie, considering for the big score heist, Lamar was not part of that heist at all. So this obviously would upset Lamar. And the game's story is basically Lamar trying to prove that he's competent and he's capable to get stuff for himself. So Lamar would end up starting a gang war with the Ballas and Vagos by undercutting those gangs in the drug trade. Verdun, being a family's OG, would confront Lamar, and they go and try to make peace with the Ballas and Vagos, only for them to be ambushed. And Lamar, Vernon, and Gerald would rally together all the sets of the families, that being the Chamberlain Gangster families, Forum Drive families, Carson Avenue families, and the Davis Neighborhood families. And the gang would unify against the Ballas and Vagos. In this game, I'd include drug businesses, similar to Vice City stories, and of course I'd include the gang territory system from San Andreas. I'd also bring back Dave Norton from GTA 5's story, who sort of blackmails Lamar into killing an arms dealer. I would also include a mission where Lamar and Michael intercept a prison convoy holding a member of the Ballas to extract information from him. I'd include in the final mission where the families push the Ballas out of Grove Street, where the families would finally reclaim Grove Street as their own. And I also wanted to include El Rubio as well in the story, where the families steal a drug shipment from the Ballas to sell it to El Rubio's cartel. Rest in peace to Joseph Melendez. And the story would end with the Ballas and Vagos and families all making a ceasefire, Lamar opening up LD Organics. But yeah, that's the idea I kind of held on to for about a year now, and maybe eventually I will make it into a full video. But those are my ideas of what I wanted to see in potential GTA spin-off involving side characters. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, a like and comment will be appreciated. Subscribe new to the channel, and yeah, with all that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.